Let us talk about the characteristics of project-based learning. The project-based learning is often differentiated by the following characteristics. Number one, the interdisciplinary. The real world challenges are rarely solved because not every world problem is resolved. So some of them still remain without being resolved with a solution. So they are rarely solved using information or the skills from a single subject area. In PBL, that is in project-based learning, the projects require students to use content, knowledge and skills from multiple academic domains to engage in inquiry, solution building, and the product construction. So they cannot limit themselves with one particular subject. So this will also engage them and entertain them and facilitate them to know about the other domain. So the other domain knowledge is also gained by a student using this project-based learning. Number two is rigorous. The challenges set out in PBL often require the application of knowledge and skills. So this is what is the difference between a faculty-centered learning and a student-centered learning. And also the modern teaching technologies and the requirement of the industry from the students. So they don't want your knowledge alone. They want your skills and the skill set. So this project-based learning will allow and facilitate the students to apply their knowledge as well as the skills and not just recall or recognition. Typically, students' first steps will be to engage in a process of inquiry. This leads to deeper learning. So this is what is important. That is why we call this as a student-centered learning. Students should start researching. They should start finding out what is that, what is that, what is that. So they need to have a deeper learning and not just the academic content, but also the use of the content in the real world application. So this is what is the one which makes the difference between the faculty centered and the student centered. And here the students, when they involve in the project-based learning, they go into deeper learning and they don't limit their knowledge with the academic content or the syllabus. They go just beyond and think about the real world situations, and they understand how these concepts, what they study in the academics, to be applied on resolving those problems. This is then leads to the development of solutions that address the problem or challenge of the project, and the creation of products to communicate solution to an audience. So this is how the product development takes place, and the innovation takes place, creativity takes place, and sometimes even invention takes place. And then it is student-centered. The third characteristics is, as we kept on talking about the modern technologies or the teaching methodologies, that is student-centered. So in PBL, in project-based learning, the role of the teacher shifts from content deliverer to the facilitator. So the teachers, my dear ladies and gentlemen, please do understand that the faculty driven or the faculty centered atmosphere, which we all learned, the old teaching methodologies had something like the teacher teaching, or they become a content deliverer. But now as a student centered approach, we need to be a facilitator, a coach, or a project manager. So the students work more independently with the teacher providing support only when needed. So this becomes a faculty-driven, student-centered approach, and the student will be involving in the projects and teacher will be supporting whenever it is required. But throughout the project, I think most of the teachers will be monitoring. That is why they can also be called as a mentor or the guide. So my dear ladies and gentlemen, my dear teachers, please do implement this project-based learning. And let me know through your comments in this video as to how you experience and how we can go ahead with this. And thank you so much for listening.